it's how I would always be. You know, I'm never gonna get married and I'm never gonna have a house, man. That's, you have a house, once you have a house, then you're in, and when you're in, you're done. You know, you're finished.
Record industry experts are predicting that even if the 12 love songs on the album are not received well, Tunnel of Love will still sell 3 to 4 million copies.
Records come out every day, but not Bruce Springsteen records. The boss is the best.
Tunnel of Love has a decidedly more sober and grown-up sound than Springsteen's last studio LP, 1984's thunderous Born in the USA.
Well, the schedule for the Tunnel of Love Express just came in. Be sure to get your tickets now. Oops, they're already gone. You'll have to buy them from the scalper.
You know, so with this tour, the idea was to redefine the band a little bit and redefine myself.
Well, you can look it, but you better not. Come here, buddy.
I felt this was going to be essentially, you know, men and women tour and all that involves.
Persistent rumors of marital trouble were confirmed when Bruce and his wife, Julianne Phillips, announced their separation. Then the tabloids had a field day with Springsteen's barely concealed new relationship with backup singer and Jersey girl Patti Scialfa.
So what happened was I got to a point where the answers that I found in some of my favorite rock and roll records, they didn't work for me anymore. You know, I couldn't find what I wanted in a Phil Spector record anymore. The whole thing wasn't working out. You know, it wasn't working out the way that, as the old story goes, the way you thought it was going to work out, which was romantic and foolish, and the way kids, you know, the way that you do think things are going to work out, like, you know, like you're going to meet the girl that's going to solve all your problems, and you're never going to look at another girl again. And you know, me and Steve were young. Hey, we really want to be like the Rolling Stones. If we were like the Rolling Stones, we would have no problems. You know, everything will be all right. You know. And I think if you grew up my generation, that was the dream, that was part of the dream of rock and roll, was that eternal youth. It promised the endless Saturday night, you know.
Right before the Born in the USA tour, I bought a home in the Republican stronghold of Rumson, New Jersey, only minutes from the plot of sand that once held the old Surf and Sea Beach Club, where we townies had been spit on by the children of my new neighbors. I went through my usual buyer's remorse, but I held out, promising myself I'd fill the big old house with what I'd been searching for, family and a life. After my short shot at being Casanova, my psychological, biological clock must have been ticking. I wanted something serious. I wanted to get married.
Come on, help me get this stuff up. Okay? So who taught you Hitler? Huh? Yeah.
Send me off to a foreign land to go and kill the yellow man.
In Los Angeles, I met Julianne Phillips, an actress out of the Pacific Northwest. She was 24, tall, blonde, educated, talented, a beautiful and charming young woman. We hit it off and began seeing each other regularly. 6 months into our dating, I proposed on my cottage balcony in Laurel Canyon. We were married in Lake Oswego, Oregon, where a scene straight out of a Preston Sturges film unfolded. Our pending betrothal had leaked, and the little town exploded. Once we took out our marriage license, the press-feeding frenzy was on.
I just can't help but think that if I was in their shoes, I'd want it a little bit more private than what it has been.
I hope they have an opportunity to do their own thing all by themselves without a whole bunch of people descending on them to interrupt whatever I hope is a happy time for them.
At Julianne's house, the 10-year-old kid next door climbed on his garage roof with a cardboard box camera, and Junior paparazzi'd our wedding party munching hot dogs in the backyard. He sold it to the newspapers for skateboard money and overnight became a local celebrity. The local priest got a special dispensation from his bishop to let us marry without the required time to kick the tires. He asked us 20 questions, and we were signed, sealed, and delivered to the Catholic Church.
They wanted a church wedding, along with all the goodies. She had a beautiful wedding gown, and Bruce had his tux on, and we had the family there and immediate friends. They wanted it quiet, and as Bruce said, you know, I have so much of this in my life. He said, I want something I can remember in the way of a church wedding, and they had it.
We got married at midnight, hoodwinking the sea of press. I kept constant company with Mr. Jack Daniels, and my old man was my only relief. I walked over and took a seat across from him at the brown plank table. He took a long drag on his Camel cigarette and deadpanned, Bruce, look what you've done now.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The wedding had been the hottest topic of conversation and rumors for days.
Well, as you may recall, when Bruce Springsteen did get married just 2 weeks ago, one writer said you could almost hear the sound of hearts breaking along the Jersey Shore.
Waiting for Bruce now. I want him to sign my shirt.
You're married?
Yeah.
And you're hanging out here on a street corner for 3 hours this morning?
Yeah.
To lust after this man?
No, just to see him. That's it.
Bruce, how is married life so far? Excuse me. Bruce Springsteen is proud of New Jersey. He grew up here. But there was one question that had to be asked. Why did he sing a song called Jersey Girl and then marry a girl, a woman, from Oregon? What did the Jersey girls think of her?
Well, it is always divorce.
You want him to get a divorce?
Yeah. She had him for a while. Now it's our turn.
Didn't you think he was going to marry a New Jersey girl?
Honey, I thought he was going to marry me. But then I thought Prince Charles was going to marry me, too.
Hello! It's nice to be in Ireland.
2 weeks later, Bruce found himself with his wife at Slane Castle, Ireland, about to face his biggest crowd yet, opening the European leg of the USA tour, playing for the first time as a married man.
It's great. I mean, it's terrific. I mean, you couldn't really ask for better. I mean, it's a beautiful setting. It's wonderful. I'm glad we came.
You enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
It's the biggest crowd Bruce Springsteen has ever played to, and there were some casualties of the excitement. 20 people were taken to Meath County Hospital with minor head injuries and fractures, and there were 3 emergency appendicitis cases. But the St. John's ambulance team said the crowd was better controlled than usual, and given the heat of the day and the numbers there, the injuries were not as serious as they might have been.
Well, I'm thinking a lot of different things staying here today. I guess this song kind of sums it up. Well, will my kids dig their dad or think their old man's really a square? Yeah, when they're out having fun, will I still be having my share? Will I love my wife for the rest of my life? Yeah, when I go up to be a man. I remember how rough your hand felt on my wedding day, and the tears cried on my shoulder. I couldn't So much has happened to me that I don't understand. All I can think of is being 5 years old, following behind you at the beach, tracing your footprints in the sand, trying to walk like a man.
It was difficult. It was the 50s. I think men were less attuned to their children in those days. And as a child, you were, you know, your parents were godlike to you.
Sure.
My father and I were really raised by the same woman for the first 6 years of our life. I lived with my grandparents. And so his mother really kind of usurped my mother's role and became my primary mother. It was competitive. It became competitive. And my pop didn't quite know how to contextualize that or what to do about it. And so it became very painful for the two of us. And it was something we had to work, I worked very hard and long on sorting through.
Do you think there was love there?
Well, of course, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, when my pop, particularly when he got older and he softened up quite a bit. But my father was struck by a lot of mental illness. And so that doubled up on all the confusion and the difficulty. Sort of ran through our family. And it affected him very deeply. So when I look back as I got older, I understood a lot of the things that had happened through the fact that he'd been very mentally ill for a good part of his life. And so it gave me an understanding that I didn't have when I was young. As he got older, he received a lot of help, and he softened, and the feelings between us became a lot more, things just evened out, and when he passed away, we were on very good terms, and I was lucky enough to have had a few discussions with him that sorted out a good deal of that thing. After born in the USA, I'd had enough of the big time for a while and looked forward to something less. Assisted by my engineer, Toby Scott, I'd slowly invested in home recording equipment. 4 tracks grew to 8, to 16, to 24, and soon I had a decent demo studio set up in the garage apartment of my Rumson home. I'd recently begun writing some new material that for the first time wasn't centered around the man on the road, but the questions and concerns of the man in the house. Tunnel of Love captured the ambivalence, love and fear brought on by my new life.
I hold you in my arms. Here's a bad play. But how those words whisper, baby, if you turn away.
Trust is a fragile thing. It requires allowing others to see as much of ourselves as we have the courage to reveal. But brilliant disguise postulates that when you drop one mask, you find another behind it.
Tell me what I see.
Until you begin to doubt your own feelings about who you are.
You're right. Is it you, baby? You're just a bird in the sky.
Julie was already sleeping one evening as I came to bed. There in the darkness, the bedside lamp caught a glint of my wedding ring. I'd never taken it off. Something inside of me told me I never would, never should. I sat on the edge of the bed, gave it a light tug, and watched as it slid off my finger. An ocean of despair swept over me, and I felt faint. My pulse leapt, and I could feel my heart threatening to push through my chest. I got up, made my way to the bathroom, ran cold water over my face and neck, then gathering myself beneath the bathroom's fluorescent light, I slipped my ring back on. I walked back into the shadows of our bedroom, a room containing all my mysteries and fears, where my lovely wife lay in bed, her body just an outline, a dark, gentle ridge of tasseled covers. I placed my hand upon her shoulders, moved my palm over her cheek, breathed in, felt the air return to my lungs, pulled back the sheets, climbed in, and went to sleep.
Good night, play the loving one. I play the faithful game, but just don't look too close into the palm of rain. Yeah, we stood at the old, the gypsy swore our future was right. But come the wee hours, well maybe, baby, the gypsy lied. Is it me, baby, or just a breeze in the sky?
Details about Bruce Springsteen's new album, Tunnel of Love, have been kept mainly in the dark. Fans were on hand at record stores this morning as the album went on sale. Today's release of Tunnel of Love brought out only a handful of the faithful.
Well, I've been waiting for it for a long time. I don't know, it's almost like a religious experience to come out here.
The low turnout this morning was probably due in part to the absence of hype from Springsteen's label, Columbia Records. But Tunnel of Love also has a decidedly more sober and grown-up sound than Springsteen's last studio LP, 1984's thunderous Born in the USA. Record industry experts are predicting that even if the 12 love songs on the album are not received well, Tunnel of Love will still sell 3 to 4 million copies.
Records come out every day, but not Bruce Springsteen records. The Boss is the best.
It's hot. It's fantastic. It's brilliant.
One of the reasons for that is that he didn't just put out a replay of Born in the USA.
It's sort of like the Cinderella story, you know, world's greatest rock star marries world's most beautiful girl, lives happily ever after, and then comes out with this record about like, a really unusual thing to come out with. And what was going through your mind when you put these songs together, or did it just sort of flow out of you?
Yeah, they were just the songs I wrote, you know. It was the way that I feel I made sense of what was happening to me and the way that I made it real to my audience. It just seemed healthy. It seemed like the thing that I want my audience to respond to me basically as a person, you know, as a human being. And I want to be able to respond to them in that fashion. And I feel that's where the value of the relationship lies, you know, not in, I'm not here to play out some fairy tale.
In recent months, it looked as if Bruce perhaps was itching to return to the stage, because he frequently did just that. At charity fundraisers and Hall of Fame jam sessions.
With me right now outside the Centrum in Worcester, Massachusetts is Steve Pond of Rolling Stone magazine. Steve has written about Bruce Springsteen in the past, and he's here to cover tonight's concerts. Steve, what can we expect from Bruce Springsteen this time out?
I think for the first time since about 1975, I'm really going in expecting to be surprised. He can go in any direction he wants right now. I don't know what he's going to do tonight, and to me that's pretty exciting.
The entire entire state of Massachusetts is rocking tonight. Behind me at the Worcester Centrum, the boss has been on stage for more than 3 hours, still going strong, and he's giving them everything he's got. And when he finished his first few songs that opening night, he turned to the crowd and he said, "It's great to see you again. I missed you." And everybody in the house knew that he meant it.
Springsteen continues performing in Worcester Sunday and Monday before moving the tour to Chapel Hill, North Carolina.
Bruce Springsteen plays tonight and tomorrow to a sold-out Spectrum.
Oh, he's the greatest.
He's the best in the world.
He's the best music. We saw him in Chapel Hill just a couple of days ago. The best show. He's #1.
I came from Austria. I'm from Salzburg, and I just came to see Bruce Springsteen in concert.
Why?
Because I'm a big... He's great, Bruce!
He just sold out a concert in Pittsburgh in a matter of hours. You think those fans got their money's worth?
I bet they did.
20,000 fans packed in to see him.
Matter of fact, I find his albums pretty boring consistently, but I like to see him.
I think it is his best work ever.
I like it because it's different. And if he likes to change, you have to change with it.
In past years, he has chosen massive venues. This time around, he has insisted that he wants a more intimate venue, thus the Sports Arena, which fills 15,000 people for 5 nights. What was your reaction when you saw that you had second row?
She almost fainted.
So with this tour, the idea was to redefine the band a little bit and redefine myself. We picked up some older songs and put them back in the show. It wasn't about breaking with the past. It was kind of more about breaking with the things that felt like they were about to become purely ritualistic. I felt this was going to be essentially, Men and Women tour and all that involves.
Backstage at the Spectrum on March 9th, Julianne Phillips Springsteen looked like a little lost lamb. Her husband, his bossness Bruce Springsteen, was across the hall in another room, reveling in the afterglow of yet another triumphant concert. So Julianne was left to fend for herself in a room full of strangers. She stared blankly at David Letterman on TV and made small talk with Electric Factory Concerts' Barbara Rose. "She kind of attached herself to me," Ms. Rose said afterward. "She seemed lonely, didn't have anybody to talk to. It seemed kind of sad." 2 months later, Julianne took her leave of Springsteen's Tunnel of Love tour to try out, successfully, for a part in Fletch Saved, her third film project in 12 months. And not long afterward, Springsteen watchers started wondering if Julianne was ever coming back to the nest. He wanted kids 4 or 5 at the least, said the gossips, while she wanted a career she could call her own. Then, when Bruce played Madison Square Garden last month, much ado was made of the fact he wasn't wearing his wedding ring anymore, wasn't staying in the pair's Manhattan apartment, and it seemed he was cozying up more than necessary, on stage and off, with backup singer Patti Cialfa.
I don't know what that one thing was that scared all those brave men. I'm gonna tell you, I'm talking about L-U-V. I'm talking about love.
June 13th, the tour reaches Rome. Photographers take pictures of Bruce and Patti together on a balcony.
any sweet, courageous, sexy women out there tonight?
June 17th, the Springsteens officially separate.
Do we have any heroic, brave girls out there in the audience tonight?
August 30th, Julianne Phillips files for divorce.
Because I'm talking to you too. All right. That's right. I've known women that when they got next to love, they ran home to their loneliness and to their isolation. Now I'm not down here tonight just pointing my finger. I'm down here tonight because I've got a confession that I've got to make. Come on, come on. I've got something I've got to get off my shoulders. And what I want to say is, I have sinned. And I am not ashamed. And I don't need no Jimmy Swaggart to forgive me. That man can kiss my ass. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because what I'm talking about is, I'm a brave man if I don't say so myself. Go ahead. But what I've got to confess to, what I've got to testify to is that I'm a coward when it comes to love. That's right. They say the tougher I get going.